And we are live. What's going on, YouTube Live? Today is Wednesday. I'd like to welcome you to the first row. And if it is Wednesday, you should already know what that means. It's time for the Wednesday word. That's Wednesday word. Jumping straight into it. Tonight's topic is stop wasting time. As always, I'd like to share what I mean by my topic. So, what do I mean by the topic stop wasting time? What I mean is how we can learn to be productive rather than just busy. Time is going to flow. It's going to go, it only goes in one direction. It's going to go forward no matter what we're doing. Maybe we'll find out later in life how to do time travel. But for right now, time only heads in one direction. And because it only heads in one direction, what that means is we only get one shot at every moment. And so tonight for you on the first row, I have 3 tools for the first row in regards to how we can stop wasting time. Go ahead, let's jump straight into it, Brother Bruce. I appreciate you being here early. It's always fun to talk with you in the chat before the show. Jumping straight into it. So when it comes to wasting time, the very first tool that I felt was really most important to addressing this topic of wasting time was there's no such thing as free time. I say this and why this is so important is because I feel like a lot of us, self-included at times, self-included, have this feeling that, oh, I'm going to do that in my free time. I'm going to do that when I have some extra time. Again, time is this linear thing. If we don't seize the moment, that moment comes and goes all in a matter of a blink of an eye, not even shorter than a blink of an eye. And so when I say there's no such thing as free time, really, it's almost like saying, every moment comes at a cost when it comes to time. So we get to choose how we're going to spend our time. We cannot choose not to spend our time. We can't say, oh, I'm going to save some of this time for later. No, that's not how time works. We're going to spend every second that we're given in this life. And so there is, again, going back to when there is no such thing as free time, there also what we have is opportunities within our time. And so saying that we have opportunities in our time, what I mean by that is we get to kind of decide how we are going to allocate our time. So for me, Wednesdays this is a really good example of there's no such thing as free time. Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on every Wednesday is going to pass regardless if I do a Wednesday word or not. If you don't believe me, go back and look at some Wednesday words and see if you see very many Wednesday words last year. You'll see that there was Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. every day or every week last year. However, you won't see that there was a consistent stream of Wednesday words. So there's no such thing as free time. What I did was I was reallocating that time to writing a book. And so in writing the book, it wasn't like, oh, I got all this free time, let me write this book. I had to reallocate some of the portions of my time in order to accomplish the goal that I had set. And so going back to when I say there's no such thing as free time, the benefit of that there's no such thing as free time is it means that we have the freedom to do whatever we want to do with our time. If we want to thrive, if we want to learn how to swim, if we want to learn how to write, if we want to learn how to sew, if we want to go to work, we have the benefit of having the choice to choose what we want to do with our time, not our free time, just our time. Think about it like this. Maybe because I'm hungry right now. I don't know, but we're going to use a food example. When you think about it like this, as food, if food was time, and we're going to spend food, there are certain foods that you can eat that they won't necessarily increase the amount of time that you're here, but they'll cause you to spend time a little less faster. So if I want, I can eat let's say, a healthy salad. I can eat healthy salads and nice healthy foods every day of the week. And those things are going to help my body to be healthy and do the things that it needs to do naturally. Let's say I have $100 in food or 100 units of food that I can spend. If I'm eating the smaller calorie healthy foods, maybe a meal will cost me 2 units per meal that I eat. So I eat a salad. Cool. Now I have 98 units left. Okay. I eat some toast with jam. Maybe that cost me 3 units. So now I'm at 95 units. But then if I start saying, okay, well, I want to eat all these fried, fatty, greasy, unhealthy foods, well, now maybe that one meal, okay, I got me some chicken strips. Maybe that cost me 10 units. So now instead of having 95, I'm at 90, just like that. And that's really for me how time works, is that we can choose to do healthy things with our time that make us more efficient, that make us sharper, that make us more productive in the time that we're going to spend regardless. Or we can do things that are not productive with our time, that are going to slow us down, that are going to impede us, that are going to act as obstacles when it comes time to spend that time doing the things that we want to accomplish. So if I want to be a CEO, if I want to be a millionaire, I can't sit and play video games all day long hoping to be a CEO and a millionaire. I might be able to be a YouTube personality. I might be able to do some streaming and bring in income that way. However, the challenge is when it comes to being a CEO, running a business, the chief executive officer running the business, I'm not going to have all the necessary components to successfully run that business. So that's tool number one, kind of lengthy, but I really wanted to stress to you that there is no such thing as free time. If you think you have free time, you just don't realize that the time is going to move regardless if you're engaged with it or not. So let's move on to tool number two. Tool number two, when it comes to stop wasting time, is productivity does not mean activity. Oh man, this is a trap that a lot of us fall into. The productivity trap. How many times have you heard a person say, "Oh my gosh, man, I'm just so busy. I'm just so busy. I'm just so busy." Yeah, you're busy, but what are you accomplishing? Because I can stand up in this chair and spin in circles for the next hour. I probably can't because I can't do spinning very well. But if I could do spinning very well, I could spin for the next hour. I'd be busy spinning, but I wouldn't be accomplishing anything. I wouldn't be being productive with my time. And so when I say productivity does not mean activity, it's to keep us from falling into the trap that we have to be doing something. It's not about what we're doing. It means that we need to be intentional about both our activity and our inactivity. I remember growing up as a kid, sometimes as a kid, even though I was an outside kid, played outside a lot of the time. Sometimes if I would be just in the house, I'd be like, oh man, I'm bored. I'm bored. I don't have anything to do. Sometimes my parents would give me something to do, and it wasn't anything fun. Sometimes it'd be a chore. Sometimes it'd be a task. Hey, we'll go and walk down to the store and grab us some Kool-Aid packets. I don't know because my parents didn't smoke. So let's go to the store and grab something for me. Or I forgot to do this. Go out there and mow the lawn. Go out and pick up the dog poop if you're bored. And so what happens is we learn really quickly, well, at least in my generation, we learned really quickly not to be bored. Because if we're bored, that means that somebody might assign us a task that we don't even want to do. Like, I'm not interested in going out and picking up dog poop. This is why I don't personally have a dog. However, as a kid, I wasn't interested in doing it either. But if I was bored and there was nothing that I could figure out to do for myself or to do with my time, because back then it wasn't like, oh, you know what I should do is I should pick up a book and read and learn something new. That wasn't the type of kid I was. I was like, okay, well, I'm tired of playing Mario Brothers. Nobody's available to go and play basketball. Or it's raining outside and I really can't go outside. I don't have a means of transportation. Tim is not home 4 or 5 blocks down the street. Those were the things that I had to do. And if those things weren't available to me and I allowed myself to get bored or I was tired of playing with my toys, then my parents were really good at figuring out something for me to do. So again, what that taught me is don't get bored. And a lot of us were taught through similar situations not to be bored. So when we feel that lull in activity, what we do is we say, oh man, we got to fill it up. We got to fill it up. We got to be doing something. We got to do something. If I don't do something, then I'm not being productive. Again, productivity does not mean activity. I can be inactive. And like, for instance, before the Wednesday word today, I went and took a 2-hour nap because I was tired. I had a very long evening last night, didn't get to bed till very late, still woke up early, worked the whole work day. And then I was like, I need to recharge. It wasn't like, oh, I don't have anything to do. It was like, no, what I want to do with this 2 hours of time that I do have is I want to spend it resting. So that way, when it's time for the Wednesday word, I can wake up, be present, be not exhausted, and actually get through the Wednesday word. So that's tool number 2. Productivity does not mean activity. Do not put yourself in a situation where you are falling into the busy trap. I got to be doing something. So now you're just busy doing nothing when you could be more intentionally doing something that may not require activity. And then with that, we have tool number 3. Tool number 3 when it comes to stop wasting time is you can always choose to not be wasteful. Or you can always choose not to be wasteful, but either way, it's your choice on how you waste or don't waste your time. Again, the time is going to pass regardless of how you feel about it. It's going to pass regardless of what you do with it. But you can choose to not be wasteful. And how you choose to do that is simply by making the choice to extract growth out of every single moment that you can. Now, obviously, it might be hard to extract growth out of sleep. For me, fortunately, I'm a lucid dreamer, so I'm aware that I'm dreaming. I can go to bed with a thought that I'm trying to solve, or a problem or an issue or a challenge that I'm trying to solve, and actually dream and work in my dream space to solve that problem. Now, not everybody can do that. Some people don't even remember they have dreams. But even if you don't remember that you have dreams, you can still extract growth out of that by giving your mind the mental rest that it needs to be as productive and attentive as it can be when you are awake. The other aspect of this about wasting time, it comes always with people. I always think when people think, oh man, I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my time. I actually had somebody stop by the house, a salesperson stop by the house for Kirby last week, and I was in the midst of like cleaning the house and getting everything ready. We had guests coming. I'm cleaning the house, getting everything ready, and this person comes to the door and they want to have a great conversation about the Kirby vacuum cleaner. Great vacuum cleaner. I grew up with it in my household. However, right now I don't have time. I don't have time for a sales pitch. And they're like, well, we can come in and vacuum a room of the house for you, show you how the Kirby works. And I was like, I already know how the Kirby works. I fortunately and unfortunately grew up doing tons of chores in my house. And the Kirby vacuum cleaner, which was very heavy, was the vacuum cleaner of choice in our household. So I'm very aware of how the Kirby works. But right now, I don't have time to have this conversation with you because in a moment, my fiance is going to get back here. And when she comes back, if I'm not done cleaning the house the way I was supposed to have that I said I was going to have the house clean, then there's going to be an issue between her and I. And so again, I had to choose not to be wasteful in the sense of, number one, I don't have time to come and have you come in the house and do this great vacuum display of cleaning a room because that sounds helpful because I needed a room clean. However, I don't have time to have the follow-up conversation with you. So not only am I not going to waste my time, I'm not going to waste your time. And what this does is when I say we can always choose to not be wasteful, what this does is we stop being the source of our own frustration. And what happens, because obviously, if a salesperson is at your door, they're there to sell you something. And that's not to say that that's a bad thing, but what to say is you got to be aware of what your time allocation is. How are you utilizing your time in that moment? So even if they help me with the room, I don't have time to have a conversation with you. And I don't want to be frustrated that you're trying to now sell me something that I don't have time to listen to you about, that I already believe in, a product that I like and would probably buy on any other random day, but today is not that day. The other aspect of that frustration and not being wasteful, choosing to not be wasteful with our time, is that we can also stop being the source of our frustration when we stop expecting people or wanting people to be who we want them to be rather than who they actually are. That is another aspect in time that we waste. And a lot of times we find ourselves fighting for relationships, fighting for connections, fighting to hold on to old relationships. And the problem with that is that we might be fighting for a person who is no longer present, because just like time is constantly moving forward, moment after moment after moment after moment, people grow, people can change and evolve, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but evolve into different people. And we spend that time fighting for somebody because we miss the person they were and have yet to accept the person that they are. That's the other aspect. And then lastly, when it comes to not being wasteful, it's with experiences. Now, I've been in especially in the virtual world. I've been in tons of virtual meetings at this point. And in sitting in virtual meetings, it is easy to feel sometimes like you're there and you don't know why you're there. It's also easy to feel like you are not making headway or making progress in a meeting. And so when you get out of a meeting like that, sometimes you'll sit there and you'll come out of the meeting, you're like, man, that was a complete waste of time. Well, it becomes a complete waste of time when you're not looking and listening for the things that you can learn. However, it also becomes a complete waste of time, especially if you have reoccurring meetings, if you're not looking for how you can add value the next time that it comes around. Again, stopping wasting time is not about creating free time. It's not about controlling the flow of time. It's not even about time management. It is about understanding how time is going to be continually moving forward, and each moment that you have to each moment in that movement is another opportunity for you to make the best decisions intentionally for yourself. Now, a lot of people might be mad at you. I've had plenty of people who get mad at me when I'm unwilling to compromise how I see myself doing things, how I want to do things for me. But that is a part of my time that I get to decide how I want to spend it, whether it's doing something recreationally, doing something with the first row content, or doing something to help a friend. Either way, we can choose to always, and I rarely use things like always. We can always choose to not be wasteful with our time. So really quick, those are the 3 tools that I have for you. I want to go over them again really quickly just to recap. The very first tool is there's no such thing as free time. Our time is free to use how we see fit. Tool number 2 is productive does not mean activity. Being productive does not mean activity. We do not have to be active. Don't fall for that busy trap. Be willing to be intentional about what you're doing with your time. And then tool number 3 is you can always choose not to be wasteful. It's a choice on if we choose to waste our time or not. The time is going to go regardless of if you want it to or not. You can't stop time, just like I can't stop the world from spinning. However, I can tell you, you can always choose not to be wasteful. Figure out the point of growth and figure out what you truly want from the moment. As always, with the Wednesday Word, I like to share a personal story, something that got me thinking about this particular topic. And I actually been thinking about this topic for quite a few weeks. The event that triggered this topic happened quite a few weeks ago. But what got me thinking about this topic was I had a moment where I went to bed fairly early. I don't even remember what time I went to bed. I went to bed fairly early though. And my body only sleeps for about 6 hours. And then at that point, my body starts worrying about, is it time to wake up? Did I miss an alarm? What do I have to do for the day? And so it just makes no sense for me to stay asleep at that point. I just get up and I start doing whatever I need to do. But the thing is that the time that I woke up was outside of my normal routine of waking up. I woke up at like 4:30 in the morning. And so at 4:30 in the morning, here I am. I'm awake in my bed. My fiance is asleep. And I'm like, I don't know what I need to do. I need to figure out something to do with this time because I didn't want to waste it. And so I'm like, let me think about what my day has in store. I know at the end of the day, I'm going to go to the gym because I want to work out. Well, why can't I do that right now? Because I don't have to be to work for the next 2 hours. The gym opens at 5 o'clock in the morning. By the time I get up, get dressed, brush my teeth, wash my face, and then head out the door and get to the gym, it'll be 5 o'clock anyway. So I get up and I actually go to the gym. Now, there are a lot of things that I could have decided that, you know what? I don't want to go to the gym today. I'm going to just sit at home. I'm going to just sit in the bed. I'm going to scroll through social media. There was nothing for me on social media at 4:30 in the morning that I was interested in. I don't know if it was or not, but I didn't get on social media. But what I did is I looked at an opportunity to take something that was at the end of my day and move it to the beginning of my day. So now instead of having to go to the gym at the end of the day, or if I wanted to go to the gym again at the end of the day, I could, but I didn't. I was like, cool, once a day is fine for me. I moved that to the beginning of my day, and I took those moments that where I would have normally either been asleep, where I could have just went back to sleep, where I could have just sat in the bed, where I could have went downstairs and watched TV, where I could have sat and read a book. There's tons of things I could have done with that time, but I chose to use that time in a manner that served what I wanted to accomplish. And really, that was about, like you say, hey, what's going on, Walter? Intentionality, being intentional about the fact that I didn't want to waste the time. Now, I could tell you when I did get outside, it was like 19 degrees outside. It was freezing. I could have made an excuse. Oh, it's too cold to go outside. I'm in basketball shorts and a hoodie. No, I'm going back inside. But then that would just be me now wasting my time. And this is where this came from. I was like, man, I truly didn't waste my time. I could have came back in and maybe even made breakfast or something, but I was like, I want to go to the gym, and there was nothing that could deter me from doing that. And it wasn't about the activity, because again, productivity doesn't mean that I'm going to have to do some kind of activity. But for me, this part of my productivity was about taking a portion of the end of my day and moving it into a time that I didn't know was going to be available when I went to sleep. And so it really, like I said, it got me thinking about my day, my full day. It got me thinking about this concept of how we waste time and why we decide that we need to be busy. If I was still sleepy, it wouldn't have made sense for me to get up at 4:30 in the morning and try to get to the gym by 5 o'clock in the morning, because I still have a full work day that I have to work from 6:30 until 3 in the afternoon. So it wouldn't have made sense to say, oh, well, I'm still sleepy, but I'm going to get up because I want to push myself. Again, that's that busyness, and it lacks the focus that intentionality gives us. Because at the end, at some point, either in the middle or the end of the day, when it is time to work out, I'm going to be tired and I'm going to be like, man, I just want to sleep. I don't want to get up and go to this gym. I don't want to get up and go out in that cold weather. I don't want to get up and go out and lift weights right now because I'm tired. So really, that's what this topic is about being intentional about the activities that we choose to do, and realize that we can choose either activity or inactivity. And as long as it is right for that moment of time that we are granted, that we are given, that we are gifted, then it's right for us. Live that life and do that. So that's what I got for you guys today. I definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in live in the live chat. I can see there's a couple people in here live, but if you're watching via the replay, I also appreciate you tuning in on the replay. Upcoming shows that we do have coming. If you were here yesterday, I was gonna say last Tuesday, yesterday, we actually did our first Carolyn, Michelle, and Billy Rowe live show, and it was on demasculinity and what to charge for in relationships. We are going to have our next live show next Tuesday, or this upcoming Tuesday, I'm sorry, on March 29th at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Time. I started adding that in there for you guys. And 9 p.m. Is that right? Nope. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to have our next show. The topic will be point of origin. If you want to find out what that's about, tune in live. Coach Carolyn and Coach Rowe will be on the scene. That also, do not forget, I don't know why I keep forgetting, but do not forget, if you have not gotten your copy of Fire Your Job, Hire Your Passion, go to firstrow.com, 1stwroe.com, and order your copy today. The book is doing wonderful. It's gaining wonderful traction. And there are some things that are going to be coming up. And if you want to participate in those things that are coming up, you're kind of going to need to have some of the book content in order to do so. The other thing is, oh, thanks, Denise. I appreciate it. The other thing that we have coming is the Wednesday Word. I don't know why I almost forgot. We have next week's Wednesday Word. It will be on March, I think, 30th. March 30th. Yes, it is the topic is saving everyone but yourself. Man, I can't even wait to share this story. But I can't wait to share the story on where this topic came from. It's a very close to my heart topic. But if you want to figure out what that one's about, you're going to have to come in and tune in live or catch the replay. And then last but absolutely not least, if you ordered or pre-ordered your copy of Fire Your Job, Hire Your Passion, the First Row has an exclusive private YouTube live for you. You should have received an email on this. If you have not received an email on it and you pre-ordered your book, you're welcome to reach out to me at contact@firstrow.com. If you don't see it in your inbox, check your spam, because I was doing some tests and I noticed that it came in my spam initially. You might need to check your spam, but there is a link to a private first row exclusive live Q&A for 2 hours with the author, myself, Billy Rowe, of Fire Your Job, Hire Your Passion. I really want you to be there to come and ask your questions. We're going to go over the first 4 chapters of the book and talk about the layoffs. That's what the first 4 chapters are called. We're going to talk about that layoff section, and you're going to be able to ask me questions. There's actually a form where you can ask me questions prior to the show, and then there's questions that you can come and ask during the live chat. And who knows, depending on how people are feeling, maybe I'll bring somebody in live into the actual live conversation as well via video. So you might want to have your hair done, your face cleaned up and shaved if that's what you want to do. Make sure you're presentable for technology, just in case you jump on live. But other than that, that is everything that I have. I am so excited about what we're doing this year in the first row, and there's so much more to come. There's so much more content to come. I am only one person, but I do have a wonderful team of people behind me that are always encouraging me and motivating me to climb to the top. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this week's Wednesday Word. Until the next time, if you like this video, share it. If you share it, like it. I'm always happy to engage with you in the live chat. Thank you for everybody who's on the live. And if you watch it with the replay within the first 7 days of the content being up, I'm also happy to connect with you in the comments section. Until the next time, one love, peace, and God bless. Thanks for sitting on the first row.